Welcome to CAM Matters, Condos, Co-ops, HOAs, and beyond. BETSY BARBIEUX is an informational leader in Florida on community association living, rights, and obligations. She is an expert on the rights and obligations of owners as well as the association. If you live or are planning to live in the state of Florida, there's a good chance you'll be part of a community association. And by the end of this show, you'll know a little bit more about community associations and why they matter.
Merry Christmas! It's December 2025. It's the December CAM Matters edition. And I'm so glad to be here. I'm Suzanne Lynn with BETSY BARBIEUX. BETSY, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
I'm all Christmased up.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Well, and actually, my tree is up year round. I just don't ever show it because I'm kind of embarrassed. So it's like, oh yes, let's show the tree now. So,
well, I've got my red sweater on. I took the bell off because I decided it wouldn't do well on.
It's just too
show.
much.
It's too much noise for the show.
Betsy, it just feels like we were just recording January. How do you feel about just looking back and reflecting on some of the shows that we did?
We can. We did
kind
a
of my
couple of
favorite.
really neat shows.
Yeah.
They're all neat when we do them.
They really are. And you put so much time. This is really a labor of love for you, isn't it?
I love doing it. And people tell me that they love listening. So I'll keep going.
I love it. Well, let's talk about January. I hear the Neil Sedaka song. January. The calendar song.
Well, with the January show that was with Hotwire, we had some conversation afterwards, and they decided that they would sponsor the board certification classes.
Amazing.
Which makes me able to compete, so to speak, with all the other providers who are doing them for free. So now I can offer them at no charge to the board members, and Hotwire is paying for their tuition. And so tomorrow I have a board certification class, and I have maxed out my little office here. I will have 24 board members here. And that's
such great news.
And what I'm doing, I am now approved by the division to present the 1-hour continuing ed class for condos and the 4-hour continuing ed class for HOAs, which are going to get real old year after year.
Yeah.
For instance, this year there was no new law for HOA. So, and there's really nothing new to teach.
And you said it's on an honor system. There's really not even accountability. It's just
there's not really accountability. Now, I can foresee that there will be accountability in the future. But right now, what I'm doing tomorrow, I'm doing 5 classes in one afternoon, 5 and 1. I'm doing the initial board certification for condo, co-op, and HOA. I'm also doing the continuing ed for HOA, and I'm doing a continuing ed for condo.
Wow.
And so it's 5 classes in one.
That's great. You're going to have to move out of your space.
And Hotwire has agreed that once I max out my office, which tomorrow I will have maxed out, that we will seek another local venue to be able to use so that the classes can grow. So thank you, Hotwire.
I mean, Hotwire not only had great information, if you want to kind of just touch on what they do and everything, but they leaned into what your mission is too. And they put their money where their mouth is. Yeah,
they are. They're making a real effort to be involved in our community associations and in our professional organizations and training. They're also approved to do training. They're a internet fiber optics internet service. And that's about as much as I know because it is way over my head. But I know that they are moving. They have moved into Central Florida and are looking for communities to provide them with the fiber optics. So I can connect you with them if you're interested.
Absolutely. All right. Well, let's move on to the next show that had an impact on you.
Well, the one that had an impact on you was the one where we talked about the habits of thinking.
I knew you were going there. I love that. I love that stuff.
You were wild.
I was wild. It was a crazy, but it's so interesting because we can apply that no matter
Yeah.
what, family, coworkers, kids,
Mhm.
whatever, standing in line paying for Christmas gifts. We can apply all of that. Would you just touch on some of the stuff you talked about?
I think one of the things that probably people don't really consciously know, except that when I say it, they know it. But the fact that humans, as opposed to animals, are um, can be self-aware.
Mhm.
In other words, we can think about what we're thinking, we can think about what we're feeling, and once you realize what you're thinking, and if it's negative, or what
Right.
you're feeling and it's negative, once you realize what it is, then you have the ability to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Animals think and they feel, but they don't think about what they're thinking. They don't think about
Right.
what they're feeling, and they don't have the ability to change it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the marvelous things about our human brain and the way we were created
Hmm.
is that ability to be self-aware.
Yeah.
Also being self-aware of the impact that you have on other people. And I can tell that there are a lot of people who don't think about the impact that they have
Right.
on other
Right.
people.
Right. Betsy, recently I heard somebody talk about when you react instead of respond, you're letting them hold your emotions hostage. And
That's
that was like, whoa, that's so
yeah,
good. No, you
yeah,
don't get to hold my emotions
right,
hostage. I
right,
make a choice about this. Yeah.
right. And my husband would call that strategic thinking. He
Okay.
is very, very good at not reacting,
Mm,
and he thinks things through backwards and forwards
mm.
before he responds. It's not. I've not ever
How do
seen.
you do that?
I don't know. I'm not.
I
The
don't-
only thing that I've ever seen that gets his goat was the dog when the dog would have an accident. Other than that, people don't get his goat.
No kidding.
Mm-mm.
What
No,
a gift.
and I look at that and admire that. And it's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
I would kind of like to have some of that instead of
Mm,
just
yeah,
laying off the handle.
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
that show
Wow.
uh, is the kind of information that we don't teach today in
Yeah.
today's world. And in today's world with the social media, you just fly off the handle.
Yeah.
And people fire things back and forth with each other. They hit send before they need to.
Mhm.
And we've just gotten incredibly hateful
Yeah.
to people. And that ability to step back and think about what you're thinking, think about what you're feeling, and then strategically react and instead or respond strategically,
Right.
respond instead of react
Yeah.
is a
That's
very
emotional maturity,
and
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 it's huge.
we managers face a lot of criticism.
Sure.
There are owners who just would love to blame us for everything, and they think that I've got one owner in particular that she just runs me up one side and down the other about what a horrible manager I am, and how I've done this and I've done that and I've done this and I've done that, or I haven't done this and I haven't done that, which she still does not understand that I work for the board.
Right.
I don't tell the board what to do. All I can
Right.
do is advise. And these decisions that she doesn't like, the boards and previous boards have made them. But boy, I mean, she even got personal. She said, "You might be a good trainer, but you don't know how to manage." Like,
Oh,
oh,
wow.
there there
Okay.
there would probably
Okay.
be some things that we could probably discuss and I could explain to you, but not with an attitude like
Sure,
that.
exactly. Again, that filter that it's just so easy to
Like,
lose our
like,
temper and hide behind things on social media, like you
yeah.
said.
I mean, I'm thinking
What are you accomplishing by that? Nothing.
you're a
Nothing.
grown woman.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
don't talk like that.
Right. Right. Right.
But anyway, that show was a good show about learning to control your. We learned the acronym TWAMS: thoughts, words, actions,
Oh,
attitudes,
that's
and
good.
motives. you do have control over all of those, but not if you're not self-aware.
Right.
If you're not thinking about what your thoughts, words, actions, attitudes, and motives are, then you don't have control over them.
That's very true. And it's just a willingness to maybe humble ourselves and say, God, where is my blind spot? Where am I weak? Why do I have issues with people? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not everybody else.
Now, what I like to do is observe good characteristics in other people, and then look at that and say, that is a good characteristic, and I would like to have more of that characteristic.
Yeah.
Not that I want to be like somebody else. Sure. It's just that I would like that ability or that,
I love that you find people who can be an example. I feel like sometimes I'm more of a warning than an example to people, so be careful.
No.
Oh my gosh. No. Well, if you can't be an example, be a warning, I guess. I don't know.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Betsy, share with me, because we're going to go to a break pretty soon, but share with me one more show that we did I'm already in January, in 2025, that had an impact that you go, that was good. I got a lot of response on that, or that was really impactful.
The one that I've got several more that I thought were really, really good, but one that I think of is the real purpose of a board meeting. And I go back to that in every class that I do. Yeah. I go back to that in every class, and it's amazing how many people come to my classes, every year or two, and they go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, you did
like,
tell us that last time.
It's like to look back on. Yeah.
So I repeat it all the time, but the real purpose of a board meeting is for business. A board meeting is not an informational meeting for the owners. And it is so that the board can get its business done, which means the board needs to meet probably during business hours. Right. They need to meet when the board members can meet. It's at the convenience of the board members, not the owners.
Right.
The owners do get to come, and they do get the agenda ahead of time, and they may make statements or comments to agenda items, but it's not a Q&A and an interrogation or a beat down of the board. Right. This is for the board to sit at a round or square table facing themselves.
Right. Or you've said, right?
Yeah. Or you. But not in a panel style facing the owners. No, they should never face the owners. They need to be facing themselves and talking to themselves, not the owners. So once you realize that the purpose of the board meeting is to protect the property and its value, maintain the things that are used in common, in other words, deal with your maintenance and repairs issues, and to enforce the restrictions on the owner's use rights. And that is use rights of not only their individual unit or home, but also of the common property and the common elements. So right there is a threefold mission statement that every community in the state of Florida has. We all have the exact same purpose: protect, maintain, and enforce.
Wow. Powerful. Do you remember what month that was, just if somebody wants to go back?
April.
All right. Betsy, let's take a quick break, come back, and let's talk about some more impactful shows that we did in 2025.
Are you ready for a new career? Do you have skills or interest in management, real estate, construction, maintenance, accounting, strategic planning, project management, budgets, human resource management, lawn and landscaping, pool services, or any other expertise needed to operate a community association? If you do, community association management could be for you. For more information, feel free to email Betsy at betsy@floridacamschools.com or visit the Florida Cam Schools website at www.floridacamschools.com. Florida Community Association Management continues to grow. Career opportunities abound.
Welcome back to Cam Matters. We're in the year-end kind of wrap-up look back to the shows that we did in 2025, and some were just so powerful. They were really just impactful, and you've gotten some great responses on. We've already talked about a few of them. What's another show that really stands out to you from 2025?
Well, it was our recap of the summit, the yearly educational summit.
Yeah.
We had a great summit I'm like you, I'm
Yeah,
already
already moved into January. Yeah.
But what I want everybody to do is put on the calendar the summit for this coming year in 2026.
Do you have
That
dates
will,
already?
yes, Thursday and Friday, August 13th and 14th, again in Leesburg at our beautiful, beautiful community building.
Okay.
And I expect to have hopefully the same sponsors and more, Hotwire being one of them, and Vice Painting being my platinum sponsor this year.
Right.
Well,
Whatever year it is.
whatever year we're talking about.
Yeah.
I hope to have them back. But we had so many good sponsors that allowed us to have a beautiful venue. We had a wonderful network social hour after day one. We had Miss Debbie's food, butter and sugar, gravy,
Love it.
all kinds of good food.
Yeah.
And we'll have a flamingo theme again this next
Okay.
year. So we'll get those stupid tacky flamingos back. And thankfully, we didn't have any live ones that were brought this year.
That's funny. That was questionable.
So,
It was on the table.
it
You
was.
said if somebody was going to, you knew who it was going to be.
But we had two wonderful panels that I will have again. And we're exploring and having a third panel discussion. Jane Boland is the attorney from South Florida, will be coming back to facilitate those panels. She did an awesome job with the ones this year. And she says, we need a third one. We need to have three.
That's
So,
great.
okay,
All right, let's go. Rock and roll. Yeah.
And then we'll do the legal update on day two. And then I have some information for the managers on day two. So that'll fill the 2 days. And that class in August then will be a month before everybody's licenses renew. So this coming year will be the procrastinator class.
Okay. This is
Everybody
the big one, right?
of
Yeah.
everybody who has waited till the last month before to get their
Yeah.
credits in.
That's funny.
But
Well, I'm happy to revisit another show that stood out to you, but I don't want to run out of time before we get to talk about something that we touched on before we hit the record button, and that was on some surprises that communities are getting in the way of increases next year and how that all happened.
yeah, the structural integrity reserve study that was mandated, I guess it's probably been three legislative sessions ago, is taking effect. It's hitting people. The communities that have had the structural integrity, I can't say it, SIRS, Structural Integrity Reserve Study, SIRS study, which
Okay.
is separate and different than your regular reserves and your regular reserve study. But the Structural Integrity Reserve Study components and the money that you're required to set aside for that is becoming more and more onerous. I talked to a small community, 60 units down in South Florida this week, and they're still trying to hammer out a budget, and it's December 12th, so they're still trying to hammer out a budget for next year. But they are potentially looking at a special assessment of, I think, about $6,700 per unit per year for the next 3 to 4 years.
Betsy, what if you just can't afford that? What do you do?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you do. I have referred her to Valley Bank. Valley Bank has been one of my sponsors for my classes, so I've referred her to the experts at Valley Bank who understand lines of credit and loans for the SEERS reserves. All of that's over my head, so I just refer people to the experts for those.
Yeah.
And so I'll have them talk to the experts about how to fund that and how to what to do. There's no, I don't know. I don't know how you pay that kind of money every year in addition to your regular monthly payments. I don't know how you pay that.
That's just a shocking amount. Like $500-600, you go, well,
but
you know,
that's real small compared to what I'm hearing. That's
what?
small. I'm hearing special assessments of 20 and 30 and $40,000. Thankfully, this little community that I'm talking to in Miami, they had a milestone inspection, and thankfully there were no defects that needed to be fixed. So at least they don't have to pay for immediate repairs to the
Wow.
building. But
Wow.
and most legislation seems to be driven from Miami-Dade and down in that area, and
Mhm.
they now have a new mayor down there that's going to have an entirely different point of view than what they've had for the last couple of decades. And
In what direction? How
well,
how do you feel?
I would say based on who was elected, more government control and more government regulation in that county, in that area. So I know I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know how long the new mayor's term is for, but it'll be interesting to see if the if Miami-Dade, which won't be the whole state, but what happens in Miami-Dade seems to flow into the rest
Yeah,
of the state.
yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see if they try to impose more regulation, which means spending more money for the
Mhm.
condos in the South Florida area. It'll be interesting to watch.
It's gonna be a big year.
It's a total different perspective
Perspective,
of what
right.
government does or doesn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to start to wrap up, but I want to end on a positive note. I want to give you a chance to tell your viewers and your clients and everybody who loves you just how you feel the end of the year, and maybe give them a special Christmas wish.
Well, Jesus is the reason for the season,
Amen.
for one thing.
Amen.
No, it's been a very active year for me. I am looking at next year as being even more. People say, "Are you ever going to slow down?" And I go home at night and I tell Jim, I said, "There's so many people that need help.
Yeah.
They just need
Yeah.
help. I don't who's going to help them."
That's right.
There are just so many questions. The statutes, the legislation, the process procedures have become so complicated, and they're written by people who don't know what it's like to implement them. They might look good on paper, but then to try to figure out, well, you got to have this meeting with that vote before you can have that meeting with this vote, and then you got to have
Right.
that meeting with this vote, and then have that meeting. Ugh, I, you know.
People are like, Betsy, don't go anywhere.
So
Don't go anywhere.
I don't. Um, we're all in it together,
Yeah.
and I think that it sure would be nice if everybody just had a little bit of Christmas cheer and goodwill,
Yeah.
and just said something nice to
Just be
somebody
kind.
every day.
Yeah.
Just be kind. Just be kind.
Absolutely.
The managers that I know care more about your community than you do.
Wow.
The managers I know care more about the communities they manage than the owners care.
Hmm.
And the ones I know, are doing our absolute best because we care. I'm the one who lays awake at night and wonders how I'm going to pay your bills because you don't have enough money, because you won't charge enough to the
Wow.
owners. I'm the one who lays awake at night. And,
Wow.
and I just know so many managers who do the same thing.
Sure.
And so God bless you, managers. The ones I know care. You all are doing the best you can in a situation that legislatively has become very, very difficult. That's not ending on a positive note, though. So
It is, because the love that you have for the people that you're working with and the community came through so beautifully. So thank you. Thank you. And a way that you can thank Betsy is by liking and rating and maybe reaching out, wishing her a Merry Christmas, and sharing this video and other videos with people in your network. So you are loved. Merry Christmas. Merry
Merry
Christmas
Christmas
to
to
you, my
you.
friend. And we
Merry
will
Christmas.
talk 2026.
I'll see you next year.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for listening to CAM Matters. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. For more information, feel free to email Betsy at betsy@floridacamschools.com or visit the Florida Cam Schools website at www.floridacamschools.com. Information provided on this show is general in nature and does not constitute legal advice. Please contact a licensed attorney for your specific situation.